I want to start off by saying if you are looking for money to make you happy, it's actually not going to happen unless it's attached to these 5 factors. We as men trick ourselves into believing that having more success, which typically relates to money in our world, is going to lead to us feeling more fulfilled, happier. And some of us even believe that it's going to lead to better relationships. Hey, if I make more money, I'm going to have a better relationship with my wife. Hey, if I make more money, I'm going to have a better relationship with my kids. Hey, if I make more money, I'm going to be able to create a lifestyle for my family and those around me so they love me more. And that's not necessarily the case. So I'm not here to say that money is a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying. Money is actually a great thing. You should actually like money. You should actually love money, because if you have you can say a negative relationship with money, it's going to be a challenging one for you. But if you have a positive relationship with money and understand that it can actually do a lot of positive things for yourself, for your family, for the community, and the betterment of this world, you're more likely to achieve it. So the reasons why you want more money need to be very clearly defined for you. And if you are looking to make more money, then it's important to know that money itself is going to lead to happiness. So whenever we do workshops, this is one of the funny things that happens in our workshops when we have very successful men who have had or made enough money where the generations to come will not have to work for 1 to 3 to 4 generations because they have so much money. One of the questions that I ask them in this group of men is, how many of you feel like you're not making enough money? And at first, there's going to be a little bit of silence. No one's going to put up their hand, regardless of their status. But as soon as that first guy puts up his hand, typically 80% of the room, if not 90% of the room, all those men put up their hands, even though these men are making tens of millions of dollars. So what does that tell you? That tells you that money there's a perception scale. For one man, making $10 million may not be enough. For another, it's a complete dream. So how you view money is absolutely contrasted by people around you as well, and your own ambitions. And it's important to pay attention to this, because if you don't have a good relationship with money, you're never going to feel like you're enough. That's ultimately it. And you can continue to work your butt off and make tens of millions of more dollars and still not feel good enough. And you can get to the last chapter of your life and be extremely successful in business and still not feel good enough. That happens. And it happens more often or frequently than you think. So here's what money should do for you, because this is what you are ultimately looking for. If you're looking to make more money, that is awesome. But it really comes down to attaching money to one of these 5 factors. Because if you can do that, and if you can attach all 5 of these factors, you're going to be golden, because then you're making money that is actually doing some good as well. So the first factor is actually freedom. Us as guys, we always want freedom. We don't want to feel like we're being controlled. So if we are in a job where we are feeling like someone is controlling our potential, like someone is controlling our paycheck, or even as an entrepreneur, people feel that way because a lot of entrepreneurs feel like they are being controlled by their clients or even their staff, because they may want to make more money, but their staff isn't pulling the weight, or staff are just not doing the right things, or maybe their clients are kind of pinching them on the dollars and they're not able to make additional profit. They feel constrained because there's an external factor that's actually impacting their ability to feel free. So money, if you can attach your own freedom or disconnect freedom from money, you're going to be a lot better off. What do I mean by that? You can actually be completely free without having a lot of money. There's guys I know that travel the world and they stay in Airbnbs or they stay in hostels, whatever it may be, and they are or have complete freedom. They feel completely free because they don't have any obligations, they don't have any responsibilities, and they are feeling completely free. Now, compare that to a gentleman who's making $50 million a year, has a whole bunch of responsibilities, is responsible for his staff, for clients' well-being, reputation risk, all of this stuff that comes along with making a lot of money. Well, who's going to feel more free? The guy who's making next to nothing but traveling the world and doesn't have any obligations, or the guy that's making $50 million and feels like he's weighed down every day? That's for you to determine. So if you're trying to make more money and your level of freedom is actually declining, you're going in the opposite direction. Because money should give you freedom. Money doesn't necessarily or shouldn't lead to more responsibilities or obligations where it feels like you're being weighed down. So pay attention to that. The second is challenge. Because making money is great, but a lot of times when guys want to make more money or grow their business, it's not because of the money itself, it's because of the challenge. We are bred, we are born to take on challenges. That's an inherent part of our masculinity. That's an inherent part of our masculine energy, is to take a challenge on because we feel alive, right? That's why guys are crazy about sports. Sports is all about challenge. And there's studies that have been shown, because there's a direct link to testosterone. And when teams win, when sports teams win, the fans, for example, who are cheering on the winning side, their testosterone actually shoots up. And the side that actually loses, their testosterone drops. So this whole concept of challenge and winning is built into us as men. And so it's not necessarily about making more money. It's a challenge that comes along with that. So if you're trying to make more money, but you're not increasing the challenge that you have, then you're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel good enough because there's going to feel like something is missing. And the challenge actually leads to the third factor. And the third factor is actually the inner growth. Because beyond anything else, this is what we want more than anything. We want to evolve as men. We want to feel better about ourselves. We want to feel whole as individuals. And that's one of the core concepts in the book, The Complete Man. If you haven't gotten your copy, you absolutely should, because you're going to see a lot of the concepts that I talk about here in more detail. You can go to CompleteManAudio.com and use a promo code Victory75 to get 75% off the digital ebook and audiobook combo. Or if you prefer the physical book, you can go to CompleteManBook.com and that will take you to the Amazon version. But get your copy so you can actually go through the principles, because it goes into what I'm talking about here in a lot more detail. But it's all about who you are. The core concept of being the complete man is about feeling great about yourself, regardless of the situations that are happening around you. And when you do that, you are solid, because when you are solid, then you can actually deal with the challenges that you have in your external world. But if you continue to focus on your external world without working on yourself, you're not going to feel great. And that journey of trying to make more money is going to feel empty. And I see this in many, many men where they are feeling incomplete. Again, that's a core reason why I called it the complete man. Originally, I was thinking about the invincible man, but that didn't sound right to me because there's no such thing as the invincible man. But it's really around feeling complete in life, because feeling like you're missing something or feeling incomplete is an absolute horrible feeling, because you go through life and you might be accomplishing a whole lot, but that feeling of like you're missing something takes away from that entire accomplishment that you've had. And then the fourth element is really about purpose, because having a purpose is very important, especially for men. Having a strong purpose is important because that's what gets you through the challenges. That's what gets you through all of those bad meetings that you have when things aren't going your way. That's what gets you through those challenges that you have with your executive team members or your leadership team members, your management staff, where they're just not doing what they should be doing and it's causing you a lot of heartache. Or when your clients come to you and say, hey, look, we're not going to do business with you anymore and you're going to lose a significant amount of revenue. Why do you get up and do that day in and day out? You do that because there's a purpose behind it. And you need to identify what that purpose is. And that purpose needs to align with the money that you're making or your desire to make more money. If you're looking to make $10 million more in the next 12 months, what is your purpose behind that? What do you want to do with that $10 million? Is it just to sit in the bank and do nothing? Are you going to feel better about yourself? There needs to be some kind of alignment. And that comes down to the fifth factor, which is contribution. Contribution is so important. So if your purpose is tied to your contribution, where you're actually giving back and helping other people and providing some kind of support to the community or whoever it may be, you're going to feel great about yourself. You're going to have even more fire and inspiration to make that additional however much money you want to make. So if I'm going to sum this up here, if you're trying to make more money, that's good on you. I totally encourage you to do that. But make sure that it's tied to one of these 5 factors. Because if you aren't, if you're going out there grinding every single day and trying to make more money, but it doesn't align with either your freedom, challenge, growth, right? Purpose, contribution, it's going to feel empty. You're going to feel incomplete. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to make more money. But if you're making more money without those 5 factors, something in your life is going to feel like there's something missing there. So I hope this helps, and I wish you the best. Take care.